Welcome back to Quad Cities today at 11. It, of course, is Weather Word Wednesday in Kyle's weather classroom. And today's word, pretty simple, it's wind. We've been dealing with a lot of breezy days, but do you know why that is? Let's dive a little bit deeper into the science behind wind. Now, first we want to look at the NOAA glossary. Wind is the horizontal motion of the air past a given point. Winds begin with differences in air pressures. Pressure that's higher at one place than another sets up a force, pushing from the high pressure toward the low pressure. And this is known as the pressure gradient force, which is how we get the wind. So let's kind of put this all together. Now, the air pressure is always in a constant state of trying to equal itself out. In fact, that's what happens with weather. That's why we get weather. The atmosphere is always trying to balance each other out, which is why we get these storm systems to move through. But you get the wind when you have a two pressure gradient. So when you have two pressure systems, a low pressure and a high pressure, in between that tight pressure gradient gives us the wind. So if we have a weak area of high pressure and a weak area of low pressure, there's a small change in pressure between, so that's where you'll get the weaker winds. But if you have a deepening area of low pressure and a strong high pressure that's following through with it, that's where we get the larger change in pressure, and that's where we get the strong winds in between those. So anytime you see a weather map with isobars, these are lines of equal pressure. Anytime those are closer together, that's where we have that tighter pressure gradient, and that's where we get the windier days. Now, speaking of the windy days, we've been talking a lot about the wind in the forecast over the last several days, and there's good reason, because now we're in the transition between winter and spring. So we get the big swings in temperature, and that's oftentimes when we'll get the gustiest wind. So the average wind in March and April is just above 11 miles per hour. And notice it's out of the west-northwest to west-southwest. So we are in the windiest couple of months, and we're going to continue with that wind over the next couple of days, because yes, we have a strong area of low pressure moving through, and then a high pressure to follow in. So in between that, we are going to see some strong gusty winds here as we head into the day on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and even a little bit windy out there today. We'll talk about that.